In the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, either way, you win. Have a stake in the race with ExpressBet.
Hi everybody, Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier. Special coverage of the $300,000 guaranteed 50-cent pick 4, races 8 through 11, the anchor leg, your DRF.com formulator race of the day, the Black-Eyed Susan for 3-year-old fillies. Our Friday stakes coverage and pick 4 coverage is presented by ExpressBet. Let's begin the sequence, Matt. And let me tell you something. Woo. This is a tough, tough sequence.
Sure is.
Full field of 3-year-old fillies begin in the $100,000 Hilltop Stakes, race number 8. Let's throw up your ticket maker play, and let's discuss how you're going to do this. Only 1A, the 3, victory to victory.
You know what? This is a really, really tough race, and I would fully acknowledge, in full disclosure, if you are playing with a bigger budget, I think you could go a million different ways in here. I just wanted to try to get narrow and get a little bit skinny. I think Victory to Victory is a really talented filly. You look at the comeback effort off of the bench. She never took a deep breath. I know it was over yielding ground, and she had a relatively easy lead, but boy, she looked like a winner every step. I like that she's also proven from off the pace, and I think that's going to be very important in a race like this because I think there's a ton of early speed signed on. I think Florent Geroux is going to be able to decide what he wants to do with her, put her in a good position. I like her a little bit. I really like Chubby Star, the number 10. I think this is an interesting horse, but I have to be honest, if I'm just looking at it being real with myself, she's not as talented, I don't think, as Victory to Victory.
I think you made some very good points about Victory to Victory, especially concerning the pace scenario in this race. It should be fairly electric up front. Victory to Victory came from off it to win the Grade 1 Natalma to close out her 2-year-old campaign, and I thought her prep race was just that. It wasn't stressful or taxing at all. She gained needed fitness off that race, and she is arguably the horse to beat in the Hilltop. As we take a look at my ticket maker play, Victory to Victory is one of my 3 A's. The pace is going to be fast. I think it sets up for a horse like the number 5, Compelled. I was a little bit disappointed that Compelled couldn't seal the deal in the Florida Oaks last time out, considering the beautiful ride she received from Paco Lopez, who found the rail on the turn, shot on through on the wood turning into the stretch, and still was outfinished. Although being outfinished by La Coronel, she shouldn't be embarrassed by that. Sort of my price play of the A's, and really my only concern is the pace, is the 11 Sweeping Patty. And if you look at the time form U.S. past performances for that Edgewood Stakes, that was a very fast pace up front. Sweeping Patty was part of it from the start, actually took control at the 3/16 pole, and then that favored couple entry, the aforementioned La Coronel, and Dream Dancing got the better of Sweeping Patty in the stretch. Of the pace sources, I wonder if she can sit just a little bit and be in with a chance at a price turning into the stretch. My C is Happy Mesa. In other words, that you really appreciate the pace, but doesn't have a good post.
It doesn't have a good post. I was disappointed in that Santa Isabel Island where I thought she was supposed to go on by. You know, it was one of those things that bothered me. The pace setter still hung on. The only other horse that I use is the 13 Mercy and Brian Lynch, first time after breaking her maiden most recently. She's very, very green. I don't know if she's going to be good enough. This is a lot to throw at her, but her mom was pretty good as a racehorse. Amen, hallelujah. The outside post doesn't help her cause either, but I think she's talented.
Second leg of this all-stakes $300,000 guaranteed 50-cent pick 4, race number 9. It's the Grade 3 Miss Preakness Stakes. We already have its own stakes preview up on the site where we cover each horse extensively. From a ticket maker standpoint, let's throw up Matt's ticket.
I'm only using 3 in here, all of them A's. I'm going to go, the one that I like the most is a horse that I've never liked, the 12 Pretty City Dancer. I just think she gets a phenomenal setup in this spot. The 8 is Nona Bella. I think the turn back is going to hit her right between the eyes. And I really thought she ran just fine in that Gulfstream Oaks. Probably a little bit too much too soon. And Our Majesty, I think, is probably the most likely winner in the race. I'm concerned about the pace scenario. She's shown that she can pass horses, but it looks like it's going to be quite quick up front. And I wonder if that takes a starch out of her.
And that's really the common denominator for all 4 of these stakes races in the sequence. A fast pace expected for each and every one of them. Let's take a look at my ticket maker play because, like Matt, I was very impressed with the 5 Our Majesty, who has finished first in all 3 of her races. I think she can sit just a little bit, and that really is the key, but she hammered that field last time out at Keeneland. Very impressive and fast. Yeah. An 88 Beyer speed figure. If she doesn't get cooked up front, I agree with you. She might be the most likely winner in the race. The 11, A Stroll in the Park, is a horse that I hope gets lost in the shuffle a little bit from a wagering standpoint. She's won her last 3 races for top trainer Larry Jones, and last time out at Mahoning Valley, it was a nice, solid win. This filly gets bet every time out. That race was fast, although I'm not sure I completely buy it.
I mean, that's one of those things that you're going to have to decide because visually, she checks all the boxes. She looked awesome out there. It was just a walk in the park. or a stroll in the park, if you will. I think she's a very logical contender in here. I'm concerned about the pace.
My backup is the 6 Vertical Oak, who just exploded over a sloppy track last time out at Prairie Meadows. But the good news is she actually has won from slightly off the pace in the past and has run well on fast going. She's 10-1 with the best last buyer. Insanity Insurance is a C.
If you don't think that was just a wet track performance from her and that she's just finally putting it all together, then she's a major, major player.
We move to the turf for the third leg of this $300,000 guaranteed 50-cent pick four. It's the Jim McKay Turf Sprint. 5 furlongs on the turf. Let's throw up Matt's ticket maker play. Oh, the fans are not going to be happy with you.
No Ben's Cat for me.
No.
It's a great story, but you know what? You don't make money on great stories. Most of the time you don't anyway. Maybe this horse will come and bite me. He should get a very good pace scenario. I think he's lost more than a little bit off the fastball. If he wins, I lose. I'm most interested in the 7 Grand Candy for Steve Asmussen. Draw a line through the most recent race on dirt. Not what he wants to do. You look at the races 2, 3, and 4 back. Look at some of the company he was keeping. You and I have never been huge fans of Green Mask, but if Green Mask were in this race, he would be probably the horse to beat, or at least right there with Richard's Boy. And speaking of Richard's Boy, he's the other one that I'm going to use as an A. Look, first start back from Dubai, you never know what you're going to get, but 5/8 of a mile is what he wants. 3 for 4 lifetime, 1-time second place. I think there's a lot to like there.
My sort of strategy in this race is to try to beat sort of the 2 named horses. I've never really been a big fan of Richard's Boy. While I respect him, and if he runs his usual fast race, it'll be tough. He does have that Dubai question coming back and running at Pimlico. He's used to running on those rock-hard turf courses at Santa Anita. And Amelia's Wild Ride, I'm kind of against him a little bit. We haven't seen this horse in over a year. Who knows what you're going to get?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, if for some reason this horse can still run, he's a major, major player.
Absolutely.
But my goodness, he's been gone for over a year now.
And he's going to take a little bit of money based on his back class, and deservedly so. It's just that the layoff terrifies me. As we take a look at my ticket maker play, I'm a little surprised you didn't use this horse, the number 4, Pay Any Price, who exploded to a giant fig 2 starts back, and then last time out, maybe it doesn't look as impressive. He's 1-5 and he only wins by a length and 3/4. But the horse that finished last in that race decided he was going to make Pay Any Price run. And they dueled through a 1/4 mile in 20-2. And Pay Any Price kept going. While I'm sure the connections were hoping, boy, we get a nice little prep race without much stress, Pay Any Price ran hard. He is not the greatest gate horse in the world. His first step isn't that fast. But you know something? Ed Gonzalez knows how to ride him. That's ride the hair off of him until he gets to the front. He's making the front at all costs.
And you know what? That's the kind of horse I have no interest in. I understand turf sprint speed is still king, but if you have a little bit of a hiccup out of the gate and then you need to be forced out of there with other speed signed on, and he's going to take money. He's got a 106 buyer 2 starts back.
Beat a good horse in Power Alert, too.
I mean, this is a really talented horse, don't get me wrong. But the way I'm looking at this entire sequence, I don't want him and I don't want the name in here, Ben's Cat.
This guy's a wet blanket. I'm going to use Ben's Cat as he seeks his 33rd lifetime win at the ripe old age of 11. I didn't think his prep was as bad as some people made it out to be on social media afterwards. He was in a little bit of traffic. And you know something? There wasn't a big pace to set him up in here. He's going to get some pace in here. He's going to run. It would really surprise you if Ben's Cat gets it done on Preakness weekend. I would like to mention a horse that I did not use in my wagers, but one if I decide to get a little bit, you know, take the wallet out, take the money out. What about Grandiflora, who ran okay 3rd last time out in a race without much pace, also in his first start off a layoff?
The only thing that concerns me, Grandiflora should get the pace, will be coming from the back, but isn't that the story of Grandiflora's career? 9 times third from,
he finds a way.
31? You know, I mean, he's a nice horse. I just, like you say, if you're spreading deep, and I really believe, this is a sequence, if you want to throw $500 at it, you could still be looking at a positive return. He's one that definitely could use his deep backup.
The anchor leg of this $300,000 guaranteed 50-cent pick four is your DRF.com formulator race of the day for Friday. That's the Black-Eyed Susan Stakes. Free formulator past performances available on the race of the day event page. We have its own video. We talk about each and every horse. That video is presented by ExpressBet as well. Let's throw up Matt's completed ticket, including the Black-Eyed Susan.
Only using 2. Using the rail horse, Shimmering Aspen. We'll find out if this horse can successfully stretch out first time to 2 turns. First time against graded stakes company or stakes company of any kind. But breaking from the inside, I think this horse has a lot of ability, and I'm going to use the horse that I like, and I picked the number 8, Torrent. I think she is slowly putting it together. She's bred for the distance, and I'd like to think that second off the bench we're going to get the best effort of her life. Whether it's good enough or not to win, we'll find out, but I think she's going to produce the best of her Short career this far.
Like Matt, I'm also going to use the number 1 Shimmering Aspen as we take a look at my final ticket maker play. I'm concerned, obviously, about the pace, the stretch out in distance, the step up in class. So visually impressive last time out, and she has a really nice pedigree to boot. I'm also going to use the 10 Actress, who's my top choice in the race. She's a maiden, but she's got a big pedigree for distance, and it looks like she's upwardly mobile. And I think the number 2 Tapa could very well be the key to this race, because if she can rate off of the pace, sit in the second flight. Her last race, the Honeybee, where she was on a very fast pace and still was punching on in the lane until being overwhelmed late, I thought that was a good performance. My lone backup is the 7 Moana, the sort of could be any kind. I mean, I think if she sort of explodes in start number 3, she might get the right setup. She was professional at Keeneland, not brilliant.
She seems to me to be the one that if anyone is going to jump up in a big way, or maybe the future is still, you know, the best is yet to come, she's the one out of this group.
Fun sequence, tough sequence. Races 8 through 11, $300,000, guaranteed 50 cent, all stakes pick 4 at Old Hilltop on Friday. Approximate post time for the first leg, 3:13 Eastern. Good luck.